Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Jennifer Bowman from Olympia Piano, and this video is a viewer request. It is a video for how to play the song Imagine by John Lennon, and I'm going to do a version that has the melody in the right hand, chords in the left hand for this video. So there are a lot of versions of music you can get for this piece. What I've done is I've purchased what's called a lead sheet. So it's the chords up above and the melody here to be played with the right hand. I purchased this from musicnotes.com, and that's what I'm using for this tutorial. So I'd suggest if you're able to do the same, you can find that link down in the description. So this video will have 4 parts. First part is an introduction, positions for the right hand, which chords are used in the left hand, and then we're going to go through section by section. There are 3 sections of the piece: the verse, the end of the verse, and the chorus. And I'm going to go through the left hand positions first, how to add the right hand, and then the left hand with a little bit more motion. So you can also move around through the video by looking at the timestamps in the description. So let's get started. So we'll start with the right hand position. By the way, in this version, the right hand is only going to be playing white keys. So what I want you to do is just get used to the position of each section. So section 1, the verse, is in G position. So that means your thumb's on G, and you're just going to use fingers 1, 2, and 3 for the first 4 phrases, and so forth. Then at the very end of the verse, where the lyric is imagine all the people, we're going to take this position, we're going to move it up 1 step to here. And you're going to use all 5 fingers of this position. So that's the position number 2. So the next position, we're going to move up a 3rd. So in the next position, your thumb will be on C. 3rd finger will go where your pinky was. That's position number 3. So our 4th position has the thumb on F. Pinky's going to go where the thumb was, but this position starts with finger 3. So we'll use all 5 fingers in this position, and during one of the sections in this position, you will scoot your thumb down. So on not the only one, the word one, you're going to scoot your thumb down 1, and then you'll keep it back here. And then our final position, 3rd finger, it goes where the pinky was. And then you go back to the beginning. So to recap, 4 positions for the right hand. Thumb on G, melody starts with a thumb, move up 1. Thumb on A, melody starts with a thumb. 3rd position, thumb on C, but we're going to start the melody with finger 3. And position 4, thumb on F, we're going to start the melody with finger 3. And then we just move 1 more time to a position we already used. Thumb on A, 3rd finger starts that melody. Now let's go over the left hand. This piece is in the key of C, which means we're going to be using the notes of the C scale. And almost all of the harmonies will be using these notes, except there's one harmony that is what I call a color chord, where we use a note that's not one of these 8 notes. So the thing to understand about playing this piece is not all the chords are going to have the name or the letter of the chord on the bottom. This is called root position, when the name of the chord is the bottom note. So that's a C chord. So I'd like to go through all of the chord positions that we'll use in this arrangement when the right hand's playing the melody and the left hand's playing the chord. So we'll just start at the bottom with the C chord. That's called our 1 chord. We're going to use 3 different versions of the C chord. And the different versions are called inversions. That means you're going to use the same ingredients, C, E, and G, but maybe C's not always on the bottom. So for our C chord, we're going to use a root position, C chord. We're also going to use a 4-note C chord called a C major 7. Probably recognize that as I play it, very prominent in this piece. And then we're also going to use C 2nd inversion, which means G is on the bottom. So the 3 C chords, C, C major 7, and C/G or C second inversion. Moving up the scale, we're going to use D minor 7, so another 4-note chord. And then moving up the scale to E, this is the color chord. So instead of doing E minor, which would be in our scale, all white keys, this is where John Lennon decides he wants to have a little more color. So he makes this middle note a little bit higher. So with this color chord, we have two options: an E root position, so name on the bottom, and then also an E7, E dominant 7. So that's a 4-note chord and gives it a little bit of extra color. Moving up the scale, next option we're going to have is the F chord. We're going to include root position with F on the bottom. We're also going to have second inversion, which means C on the bottom, but it's going to be played down here. And then we're also going to have a 4-note chord in second inversion, like that. So we're just adding another C to fill it out. Then moving up the scale, we're going to have two different versions of the G chord. One is going to be the root position, so G, B, and D, G on the bottom. And the other is going to be the G7, which is called a dominant 7, putting that F on top. F is in the C scale. And then finally, we're going to have an A minor chord, but the only version of the A minor chord we're going to use is going to be the inversion. So A minor, second inversion. So A minor with E on the bottom. So those are the chords you're going to use in your left hand. Now we're going to use all that information we just reviewed to play the piece. So I'm going to start with the left hand. And what we're going to do first is just find the positions, and then I'm going to show you two different ways you can play the left hand. The first part of the piece is called the verse, and the first pattern you are going to play 5 times when you play it the first time, and then 4 times when we repeat. The left hand's going to start with a C chord, root position, and notice my fingering. I'm going to play this chord with 5, 4, and 2. Because I'm going to add that C major 7 right after it. So we're going to start with C chord, 1, 2, 3, and then on beat 4, you're going to add your thumb. Then we're going to take these 2 notes, and they're going to go down, and you're going to play 5, 3, 1. And this is that F chord in second inversion. So we got C, 2, 3, 4, Notice when we switch from here, 3 is already hanging out there on F, and I'm just going to scoop my thumb down, 2, 3, and then we have the little flourish, which is just going to consist of finger 1, 2, 1. Just walk over that black key. We'll do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then see how my hand, when I go back down, I'm going to reach for that G right there and land. Now that is the foundation of the left hand. Once you feel comfortable with that, then you're going to add more chords. So you're going to do this one 3 times. 1, 2, 3 at the 7th, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the pattern. That's your first pattern that you're going to do 5 times. One other thing I want to mention is you might, so this fingering should be 5, 4, 2, 5, 4, 2, 1. You can either use 1, 3 here, or some people might prefer 1, 2. I feel like my hand just switches off. It might do 1, 3. Sometimes it might do 1, 2. The main point being these keys are just moving next door. So see what works for you. So now we're going to take just the changes and we're going to put the right hand with those. So what you want to figure out is when are the hands playing together and when are they taking turns. So if we have just the changes, when you switch to 3, you're going to switch to 3 at the same time as you play this chord. And then you're going to play another 3, and then switch the chord, 2, 3. Let me do that one more time. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, And then each of the 4 first phrases of the verse are going to just have a slightly different combination of fingers 1 and 3. So our phrase number 2, it's just a little bit of a different rhythm. See how the first time it came together. The second verse, you're going to get to finger 3 before the left hand switches. 2, 3. So play around with this, see what feels really comfortable. On the third phrase, the first one, you're going to have 2 G's, no hell. And the second and third one, you're going to have 4, nothing to kill, no need for greed. So it will change just slightly how many G's you're going to play. So verse 3, other than that, it's going to feel the same. Together, 2, 3, or nothing to kill. But on this third one, this B is going to come with that. And then the fourth one, only 3 G's all 3 times. 2. 2, 3. As you get more comfortable with the right hand melody, you might sometimes play this together, play this first, play this after, and so forth. So now I'll go through the right hand with just the left hand changes and the right hand all in a row. So we have together, 2, 3, 4, 1. Before this time, 2, 3, 4, 1. Together, 2, 3, 4, 2. One thing I forgot to mention, on the fourth one, you don't have that thing, so we just hold that or play 4 chords. So now I'm going to give a little bit more motion in the left hand. We have 3 chords and switch, 3 chords, flourish. So something happens different on beat 4. So this is where you can have a little bit of fun playing with your melody. How do you like those words to fit with the left hand? So I'm just going to go through that once with what I would do with the extra chords, and I'll do it nice and slow. Here we go. 1. Together, before, after, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. And to recap, this left hand pattern happens 5 times the first time through because we use that as an intro, and then 4 times before we switch. But when you get to the end and you come back, you're not going to play the intro again, so then it will only be 4 times. Now, our next pattern, we only do once. This is the end of the verse, so I'll start with the left hand. Left hand, we're going to start with an F chord in root position, but notice my fingering. I'm using 4 on the bottom. Why? Because this bass line is going to march down. So we're going to start with finger 4, F chord. Now our next chord, we're going to keep the 1 and 2 where they are, and we're going to play finger 5. This is an A minor, second inversion, A, C, E. Then we're going to keep that pinky walking down, keep these here, and we're going to go to a D minor 7, a 4-note chord. See finger 4, it's just hanging out on that F. All you got to do is scoot your pinky down and play, everybody. And then the pinky's going to go down 1 more, and we're going to open the hand out and put 3 on this F, like this. And this 4th chord is F chord, second inversion, with 2 C's in it. So let me do that one more time. So we have F, 2, A minor, D minor 7, 4-note chord, and F second inversion, 4-note chord. So practice that a lot, get that to feel really confident. Then, living for today, living life in peace, sharing all the world, we're going to move up to a G chord, and I'm going to encourage you, here's G, to put your pinky right here. So feel how it feels to switch from here to here. Really spread out, and then you're really compact. Thumb is just coming up 1. And we're in a root position G chord for 3 beats. Now finger 2 is here on C. All you're going to do is switch your thumb up 1, C, second inversion, different order of the notes for a C chord, and then we're going to take these 2 fingers and we're going to move them up for the G7. And in the G7 chord, we're not playing the B. We're just playing 5, 2, 1. So part 2 of this pattern is G, 2, 3, thumb scoots up, tops scoot up. So pattern 2 all the way through with both parts starts with F. 1, 2, move down, pinky goes down, bottom 2, open out, G, 2, 3, thumb scoots up, both scoot up. In this part, the right hand has 2 positions. So we started with the right hand thumb on G. Now this part we just move up 1. And at the very end, you'll move up to the position, C position. So now I'm going to add the right hand to the left hand for this second pattern. And we're going to start with 4, 2, 1 for that F chord so we can walk down the bass. And here's how it's going to go. 1, 3, 1. And then when you play the 3 again, you are going to play your left hand pinky, keep 2 and 1 where they are. And then 5, 5. Switch the chord first. So 4 is going to play where it is. Pinky goes down. And I like to add that 3 in there. Some versions just have 4 and 1. I think this sounds better. And after you get to your thumb, then your third finger is going to go down. Your pinky's going to go down. Then this is where the left hand moves up to the G chord. You're going to play that together with right hand finger 2, like this. And then when you move to the C chord, you're going to play the C chord here as well. And then 4 goes first before the left hand moves up. Right hand moves up entirely to that C position, but starting on E. Now look at your left hand. We're all spread out. We're going to scoot down 1 and close into a root position F chord. And that will be the third section. So now I'm going to do that all without stopping. Here we go. Position 3 is going to just come over the thumb and you'll be in the next position. So now if you want to add a little bit more motion in the left hand, almost every chord is going to have 2 chords before it switches, except for the last one when you go from the G to the C/G to the G7. So it will look like this: 2 times, 2 times, move down. Then we'll have 3 here. 1, 2, 3, up, up, to get ready for your next chord here. Now I'm going to add the right hand to that. It's a little more straightforward, a little easier to put together. So it's going to go left, right, together, right, together, together, left, together, right hand's holding. And finally, we're on the chorus, which is the last section of the piece. And the way the chorus works is we're going to have a progression that we do 1 time through. We start with the F, and then we're going to move up to a G chord. Now notice how we're going to move between F root position and G root position. I'm going to just play 4 and 2, then I'm going to scoot my thumb up, kind of pivot. Then we're going to reach down to a C chord with 2-4 rather than going, it's a lot of moving. So just kind of grab that G with finger 2. And then here is our color chord. This is the E7 I'm talking about. So we're gonna take third finger, anchor it on that G sharp, which is not in the key of C. So it's an extra color 4-note chord. And then we're gonna do that pattern 3 times. So we squeeze into F, G, E7, squeeze in 1, 3, 5, 4, 2, 1, hop down and up to E7. Then the 4th time, we're not going to have the E7. We're just going to have F, G, and we're going to end on a C chord root position with an extra C on top, so a 4-note chord. So to recap, the last one is F, G, C. So when we put our right hand with that, we've come from this G7. The first note of this section is going to be in the old position, I guess you'd say, with the right hand. Then we move to the position where the thumb is on F for this chorus. The way I like to get there is cross over with my third finger and then open up. Right hand's going to play. And then when you switch to finger 4, you switch to the G chord. And then when you get to the C, you're going to switch to the C chord. E7's by itself. Then squeeze into the F. 3, 5, 4 goes with the G chord. And then on this, you're going to scoot your thumb down to E. You're going to play it before you play the C chord. 2 up to E, 7, back to the F chord. 4 goes with the G chord. C chord, root position. E7. And then finally, this last one, put finger 3 where finger 5 was. We're going to move up a third. And then 4 goes with the G chord this time. And then big chord. So I'll play that now without stopping. So I'm going to go from the G7 so you get the transition. Here's the end of the verse. F chord, 3. And F chord. 1, 2, move up. And we're starting on finger 3 again. G, E. And now this last one, the right hand moves up. And then you'd go back to, and so forth. Now, if you want to do the version where the left hand plays a few extra chords, this is really fun to do. So I encourage you to learn it this way. So the pattern works like this. We're going to have 2 F chords, 2 G chords, and then here's where it gets a little bit different. We're going to have a C chord for the first one, then a C major 7, then same thing, E chord, E7. So 3-note chord, 4-note chord, 3-note chord, 4-note chord. This is kind of fun when you play it this way. Finger 2 goes where finger 1 was. And then we do that 3 times. And then at the end, we have 2 times, 2 times. And then I would do this 4 times if you're going to repeat. 2, 3, 4, and 1. But if you're at the end, then I just hold that chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll play through the left hand with the extra chords, nice and slow, so you see how it can fit with the right hand. Again, you have flexibility with the rhythm in which you play this. See how it feels for you once you've learned the order in which you're going to play the fingers. We're up here. Left hand scoots down. That's where you have all those switches. C major 7, E7, squeeze into C, G, F, right hand comes up, and 3, 4, and back to the beginning. Now I'm going to go through and play hands together without stopping all the different positions. I'll do it nice and slow, and feel free to experiment with the pedal, see how that sounds. We're going to start with the right hand G position, left hand C chord. Here we go. So thank you very much to the viewer who suggested I do this video. Thanks to all of you for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I also have lots of videos on chord progressions, scales, technique book tutorials, that sort of thing. I'd love to hear from you. Please write to me in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.